Yeah. This could all go wrong any minute. Sorry, I'm just looking for all my notes, which seem to have gone missing. I have Vince. I don't have my notes here. Yes, it's not an ideal weight. I agree.
No, I'll come and take it. I'll come and take it.
Vince, I don't have my notes. I don't know where my notes have gone.
Listen. I mean, you don't get that from an ordinary syllabus.
I don't have my notes about what prayers we're doing, what pages or anything. I don't know where they went.
You make it up, Janet, can't you?
Could you do some serious Darley? Yes, it's true.
Thought I had everything.
No, reforms. We ought to live.
This is only because Rabbi Janet wants to use it.
There's a revolution going on back here.
Treat it, it's an opportunity to see how Americans pray.
Right. I am going to need some people to open the ark and to lift and dress.
I can't live.
Scroll them. I know you can't lift. So, is anybody able to lift? Great, you're on. So.
I'll give myself the towel.
So, and she's happy to lift, and I need one more person to open the ark. Miriam, how about you? I will, as soon as I figure out what I'm doing. I had copious notes about where I was starting with this, but I can't find any of them. Oh, here they are, look. Okay, for those of you here, you've already realized that we're using Mishkan Tefillah, which is the American Reform Siddur. Now, I quite like this Siddur, except that it's way too heavy, I agree. But it has a lot going for it. It has huge selections of alternative readings in English to maybe the direct translation of liturgy. And it's got transliteration. So there's absolutely no excuse for you not reading along, okay? And the other thing, and this is especially for those of you watching online, if you suddenly can't hear me, it's probably not the microphone, it's my voice. So I've been ill, and as you can hear, I'm very croaky, and we'll just hope that I keep croaking and don't completely go silent on you. So we will be beginning this morning on page 186. And we're just going to do a little bit of singing to wake ourselves up.
Give you a chance to find page 186, and you'll see the English there, so you know what we're on about. It's waking up, and goodness, I'm still here. Isn't that nice? And thank you, God, for the trust you've placed in me by letting me wake up again.
And it's Modeh Ani or Moda Ani, whether it's the masculine or the feminine.
Modeh Ani lefanecha, melech hayam, shehezata, tinishmati b'chem. how about joining in with that last phrase, Rabbi emunatecha, great is the trust you've placed in me by letting me still be here to carry on doing good works. So one more time, but you're joining in at least on the last phrase, because all the rest of it will have woken you up.
And we continue on page 192 with motto verse. And Vince will tell you what sort of motto verse we do.
We're doing an easy motto view where you can all join in, and it's very familiar, I'm sure. And one of the great things about this is if you don't join in quite at the start, it doesn't really matter, because it's a sort of tune called a round. It really doesn't matter where you start, it all fits together.
O Jacob, your dwelling, O Israel. I, through your abundant love, enter your house. I bow down in awe at your holy temple. Adonai, I love your temple abode, the dwelling place of your glory. I will humbly bow down before Adonai, my Maker. On the top of page 193, let's say together, may the one whose spirit is with us in every righteous deed, with all the work for the good of humanity, and bear the burdens of others, and give bread to the hungry, and clothe the naked, and take the friendless into their homes. May the work of their hands endure, and they serve God bless all the lives. And we turn to page 196. These morning blessings are just sort of to get us going. And first of all, we give thanks for being alive, and we give thanks for being together, and now we give thanks for our souls. Elohai Neshama, page 196.
My God, the soul you have given me is pure. Elohai Neshama Shanatatavi Tehorai. Elohai Neshama Shanatatavi Tehorai. Elohai Neshama Shanatatavi Shanatatavi Tehorai. Elohai Neshama Shanatatavi Tehorai.
And we say together the bottom paragraph on page 197. My soul came to me pure, drawn from the reservoir of the holy. All the time it remains with me. I am thankful for its thirst for compassion and justice. Let my eyes behold the beauty of all creatures. Let my hands know the privilege of righteous deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh Hashem v'ruach. We turn now to page 201 at the top of page. First paragraph on the top of 201 together. As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment. May my actions be shaped by mitzvot. Keep me from inquiry, disgrace, and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation or despair. Distance me from evil people and false friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness. May my hands reach out in kindness, and I will serve God with acts of righteousness. Today and every day, I merit your mercy by living my life with compassion and love. Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living. Baruch atah Adonai, Med Chasadim. Turn to page 212. We now begin this next part of the services that section. Verses of praise, because we're really just getting ourselves ready to get into the meat and the heart of this service. So it's about moving from the outside into the inside and into here. And I know about you, but boy, do I need that chance to move. So on page 212, Baruch Shema B'chaya Haolam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Oseh V'Reishit. Good, yes, please read with me because you can see it. Baruch Omer V'Oseh, Baruch Lazer Elkaim, Baruch Merachem Al Haaretz, Baruch Merachem Al Habriut, Baruch Mishalem Tov Livrei Av, Baruch Chai La'ad Chayam V'Nateach, Baruch Chorei U'Hasil, Baruch Shemam. Blessed be the one who spoke and the word came to me. Blessed be the one. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech L'Olam. And on page 214, Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat. This was Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Thanks, Sandra.
Moshe Yom Shabbat Toledol Adonai Ulazamer Shemcha Elyon Ulazamer Shemcha Elyon V'hagi b'boker Hasdena Hallelujah. Ulazamel Simcha Elyon, Ulazamel Simcha Elyon.
Top of page 215.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Ad Yehalelucha Selah. Ashrei Ha'am Shechachalo, Ashrei Ha'am She'Adonai Eloham.
We turn to page 223, top of the page for Yishtabach. 223. Am I reading it?
Yeah.
I'm reading it, sorry. Yishtabach Shemcha La'ad Malkeinu, Ha'el HaMelech HaKadol VaHaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Ba'aretz. Ki Lecha Na'eh Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu V'Imoteinu, Shir Shvacha, Hallel V'Zimra. Oz Sholah Netzach Gedula Gevura Tehila Teferet Yusha Malchut Zechot Honaot Olam. And we turn to page 313 for the Baruch. And we rise. 313. So we rise for the Baruch. If we're able. It's fun, dear. You can start. Everybody's risen who's going to. And we're going to continue with that second paragraph with singing roll into light, roll into dark, because this first paragraph after the Baruch Hu is all about the changing times of the day and the changing seasons. And we like this song, and I know you know it, so I'm going to join in, I hope. Choir does it, so you should know it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzei or u'orei choshech osei shalom u'orei et hakol. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Page 314. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift is yours. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them. You who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai. We turn to page 318. You're sat down, my fault. But now you're still standing, so that's just as well, because we're all ready for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
And we continue with the first paragraph of the halftime in Hebrew, and then we'll be reading the English translation just under that on page 319. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha b'chol nafshecha v'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzvatecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'divarta bam v'shiftecha v'vitecha v'letecha v'derech v'shotlecha v'kumecha v'shartam me'od ha'yidecha v'hayu le'totafot v'ninecha Tavtam on mezuzot, v'techa v'yisherecha. Love Adonai your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired, whether you are rested, and guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all the fine mitzvot, so that you can be holy before God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt. I'm your God. I am Adonai. We turn to page 322 from Micha Malcha. Top of the page.
Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha Netav HaKodesh Norat Teilot Osef Elei Norat Teilot Osef
Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And on page 323, we rise for tefillah. Yami is standing there.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Top of the next page. Baruch atah, top of page 324. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Elea, El Adol Hagibor Hamora, Elion, Vanel Hasadim Tobi, Vanel Hakol, Isotanel Hasnea Bot Vimachot, Nevi Vila Livnevne, Naman Shema, Melech Zer Moshe Mage, Ruchat Adonai, top of the next page. Atagi or Leolam Adonai, Lachaye Hakol, Takav Lahoshia,
Machal Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mi Chamocha V'al Gevurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Meimit Umechaye, Umatmeach Yeshua.
Yamana Tal Chayot Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Machaye Hakol. And on page 326 in the middle of the page. 326.
Thank you.
Kedusha.
Yeah. Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Kashem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatov al yad neviecha, al yad neviecha. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech haaretz, Kadosh.
Adir Adirenu Adonai Adonai. Ma Adir Shimcha b'chol haaretz. Baruch.
Baruch Kavod Adonai Mimkomo.
Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Mosheinu, hu Yashmeinu, Barachanu, B'nei kol chai, Chaye Ani, Adonai Eloheinu.
Yimloch Adonai le'olam, V'ha'ik Zion, L'dor ador. Hallelujah.
And on page 328, and you can resume your seats really if you want to. Some of you are looking like, oh, please. Yeah, sorry. 328 for Lador Vador. It's at the top of the page.
Read it.
You know what to sing Lador
All right, if you insist.
Vador.
No.
Lador Vador, Nagid Godlecha, U'netzach Netzachim, U'chatach Naftish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. And on 329, it's Yismachu.
Okay. Yismachu b'malchutecha, Yismachu b'malchutecha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg, Amakatshe Shavi, Kol Am Yismachu v'tangu mituvecha, V'hashvi ratzita po, V'kidashto, Emdat yamin chemdat yamin oto karata zecher maseh bereshit.
Eloheinu, Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu. Ratzevenu katenu kadeshenu v'mitzvotecha. V'tein hakenu v'toratecha. Sahenu mituvecha. V'samchenu v'shuatecha. V'taher libeinu v'avtecha v'emet. V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu. Yahava v'ratzon Shabbat. Kedushacha. V'yanuchu v'Yisrael. V'kadesh Shemecha. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. Places to be, places to go. But on Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, to the world of creation, to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai, Nikadesh Shemcha. And on the top of the page, Ritzay.
Say Adonai Eloheinu Amcha Israel Lefi atam ba'avam tekabel
Patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence, our source of blessing, and with favor upon us. May the offerings of our heart be acceptable to you. Then we turn to page 334. Some shalom. Top of the page.
Sim shalom tova uvracha, sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Sim shalom tova uvracha, sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Eloheinu el kol yoshvei tevel sim shalom. Sim shalom tova ubracha, sim shalom tova ubracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim.
God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your spirit that life prevails. Baruch atah Adonai, v'barech et amo Yisrael. Shalom. And we turn now quite a ways to page 362. Just in case you were worried that we were going to be finishing the entire book this morning, we are not. 362 for the service for reading in Torah. Now this one is going to have a bit of jumping around. Because there's a lot in it that we won't be doing, basically. But we will be starting at the top of page 362 with Ein Kamocha, and that is the cue for people who are participating in the ark bit to come up. And we sing Ein Kamocha, and then we'll open the ark, and then we'll do something else while we try to get it out. Okay, Vince, you're on. This one's yours.
Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kamasecha, malchutecha malchut chamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dovado. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed. Adonai olemo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Right.
Is it the middle one?
Yes.
Thank you. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah. I think she's going to take it out, actually.
Guess who's doing it?
And to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. And we're singing whatever you think we're singing.
I think we've gotten to page 364. Let's sing Ki Mitzion. Ki Mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki Mitzion tetzei Torah, u'levar Adonai miYerushalayim.
Leave it tight because it's easier for me to get.
And of course, I've missed something because I'm not very used to this either, so that's all right. Stand up with it because you've got it in your hands. You'll say, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
do you want to come and help somebody? Untie it.
I imagine so. What should I do with them?
Somebody has tied this with the, yeah, I know. I don't know.
These scissors.
Yeah, we may. I don't allow my fingernail anymore.
Use that on the chair over there when it comes to it.
Okay. Thank you. And now comes the time when I look for it. It's all right. Yeah, it's last week's Torah portion, which is not as bad as it could be. So I only have to follow this week's. Everything all right? There, let's not fall down.
You're free to sit.
And I'm going to need somebody who wants to say it's Vayeshev, and I'm going to be reading the very beginning of Vayeshev as soon as I find it. So just bear with me, please, while I find it. No, I'm not so sure about where it is now. I suspect somebody might have been practicing their Torah reading for their bar bat mitzvah. But it's do not reset. Yeah, it would help if you did it the right way there. And we're still in God talking to Moses. Yeah. No. Okay. So now I've gone behind it. This is not making me happy. So it has been rolled further. Listen, I have a bad left wrist. So Vince is going to have to try to roll this while I try to find it.
I'll do a column at a time. Which way are we going? You want
Roll
to
that up. No, I have to look back. We've got to Moses, and we aren't to Moses yet. Yeah, see, we gotta get before Moses. Keep going back that way. This is just driving me mad. Keep going. Yeah, it's yeah, I know that, but I know where I am now. It was a whole book after the book. Yeah. And if we can't find it, we're gonna give up. So we've got Joseph in Egypt now, so we have to get back to Joseph.
Not yet.
Not yet in Egypt. Keep going. Oh, it's in there somewhere. Keep going. We should be getting close now. Keep going. And if you could only see what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for a word in solid columns. Because the way you find where you're reading in Torah is to find the breaks in the columns. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff that is just solid words. Keep going.
Good job, your friends.
There's a break.
Yeah, but that's Miketz, which is next week's Torah reading.
There's another break.
Yeah. Keep going. I should have invited you all up here to look at this, to be honest, because it's an interesting experience. Keep going.
I think I did that page numbers as well.
I know. Where's a good page number when you need it? One more. I think the almost there. Because I'm reading at the very beginning of Vayeshev. Haha!
You reckon?
Oh yeah, I've got it now. And do I have somebody that's saying the blessing on the Torah? I think I forgot to ask. Who wants the Aliyah? Hillary, fancy the Aliyah. Come on. Why not?
What am I doing?
I'm sure you can do it. The Aliyah.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Here. Here's the blessings. Just, I'm sure you can.
Baruch atah Adonai v'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chava banu v'kar ha'di v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai v'tei Torah.
You didn't give me a chance to ask you your Hebrew name and to call you up. You're in a hurry. That's all right. The good news is, after all that, I'm only reading a few lines. If you could just hold this for me, please, so that it doesn't roll up, because that would make me hysterical. And the rest of you as well. Amen. Vayeshev Yaakov be'eretz migorei aviv be'eretz Canaan. Ele toldot Yaakov. Yosef ben 17 shana haya ora'eh et echav b'tzon. V'hu na'ar et b'nei Bilcha et b'nei Bilcha et b'nei Zilpa. Asher achnuv v'yavo Yosef et Devatem ra'eh et Avihan Yisrael ochev et Yosef mikol enam. Right, you see the trouble coming, right? Joseph is loved by his father more than all the other sons. Ki ben Zechanim hulo v'aseh hulo v'aseh lo ketonet pasim. Now, that's going to be an important word because we're going to be talking about that. Ketonet pasim. Vayeru echav ki oto ochev Avraham mikol echav. וישנו אותו ולא יכלו דיברו לשלם ויחלם יוסף. No, we're finished. That's it. And then I'll tell you what I've read. And Jacob dwelt in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock of his brother, being still a lad. You know, just think about that for a minute. He's 17, but he's still a lad. We're going to be explaining that.
He's stolen that.
No, he's still a lad.
Still a lad.
He was feeding the flock with his brother. Okay, even with the sons of Bilcha and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought evil report of them unto their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was a son of his old age, and he made him a ketonet pasim. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and they could not speak peaceably unto him. Somebody can say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'torheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Now, I need you to come and lift, and it might possibly take two of you. I don't know. This one's heavy, but and big. And I'm assuming you know how to lift because you volunteered.
It's been a while, but I can try.
Okay. Use your thighs.
No problem.
Please rise.
Oh my goodness. It's been a while.
All the
Yeah,
way
that's
on your
heavy.
left hand.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato.
Right. It takes a community to teach and read and learn Torah. So anybody who's going to come and help tie this thing and put it away, please come and have a seat and help her with it. Thanks, Marie. Well, I had some other things planned, but let's go in
Can you
way.
just tuck that under there? Yeah. Tuck it under there.
Well, right on, don't I?
Sorry, around there. Yeah, but you're doing perfect. Perfect. And just tie that up.
thanks to everybody for helping and for bearing with at this point. I decided not to do the Haftarah today because I looked at all the suggestions and I actually wasn't inspired by any of them. So it's just as well now because obviously you'd be here all day if we were having a Haftarah.
There we go.
Let's go back. It's just at 193. So. If you could manage to shift it around so that the front of it faces everybody.
Which one's not working?
Oh, that's good. The whole thing, the scroll.
Oh, the scroll.
I'll get the other.
I'm going to suggest you stay seated for a moment.
Alrighty.
And we often do it at this point, the Shabbat, the prayer for healing. So Vince is going to help us sing that, and you will find it on page 371. We do the Debbie Friedman version. It's in the middle of the page, 371. And I'm going to invite you to, if you have any names of friends or family that are ill at this point, or distressed, or have things going wrong in their lives, and you'd like to put their names forward for a healing prayer, please do so now. And I'm thinking of my friend Brian. Adam.
Most of us are at an age where things do start to go wrong. So I'll say Vince, I think.
in order to replace the scroll in the ark. So I need a couple of people to come back up and open the ark, and I need Vince to figure out what we're singing.
כי לך טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזבו, את חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר, דרכיה דרכינם, וכל נתיבותיה Shalom. Ashirenu Adonai Elecha, v'nashua, Hadesh Yameinu k'kedem, Hadesh Yameinu
Thank you to everybody who participated in this. We got the Torah back where it belongs. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. So, on this Shabbat, there are a number of things on my mind today. First of all, we read Vayeshev, and there's some things we're going to talk about in a minute from that. And this is also the shortest day of the year. So, the shortest day, the longest night, and this time of year, things physically sometimes seem pretty dark. And I'm going to confess that I had a lot going on with some friends, and so just when I thought I was looking forward to a few days of good times and spending it with chosen family, things have gone, well, pear-shaped would be an understatement of the year, and I've been spending a couple of days just hoping that my friend was not going to do something stupid. So, clothes, perceptions, light and dark. Now we know who Joseph was, but do we really? There's interesting questions prompted by certain words and incidents in that Joseph story, just in those few words that I meant that may lead us to rethink the young Joseph. And I know I've talked about this before, but that doesn't mean that you were here when I did, so if I'm repeating it to you, great. You'll live with it. And if you haven't heard it before, I think it's good to think about. Just a couple of sentences into the parashah, we're introduced to Joseph as a na'ar. A na'ar is a youth or a lad. We're also told he was 17. Now, it's logical to think that in biblical times, a 17-year-old would basically be an adult. So why is Joseph described as a na'ar? Commentators and Torah scholars generally assume that repeated phrases, contradictions, and subtle shifts in the Torah are there for a reason. So if an adult is being called a youth, there must be some significance. The sages in Genesis Rabbi, the midrash that looks at all of the stories in Genesis, suggests that although he was indeed 17, he behaved like a boy, penciling his eyes, curling his hair, and lifting his heel. So basically, he was basically, well, thinking about what you looked like when you, so basically he was mincing about, okay? Now, Rashi too suggests that Joseph dressed his hair and touched up his eyes so that he would appear good looking. He also suggests that responsibility. So we know he's Jacob's favorite. And Jacob himself, in contrast to his brother Esau, who was the rough and ready, the one working in the fields and whatever. Joseph also was quiet, more sensitive, and cooked. Something that would have been women's work. Perhaps it's no surprise then that Jacob favored Joseph. So we have already this depiction that these are not typical, what we think of as typical gender descriptions, typical gender roles. And his father's love for him, his favoritism, led him to give Joseph a special garment, ketonet pasim. Now in popular representation, that's called a coat of many colors, or a coat. Its meaning is considered unclear by many traditional Bible scholars. Sometimes thought of as a robe with long sleeves, an elaborately embroidered coat, very colored, maybe with stripes. But for unusual terms like this, we look to see where they occur elsewhere in Tanakh, in the Bible. And the only other use of the term ketonet pasim is in 2 Samuel 13, where this is the garment that Princess Tamar wears, ketonet pasim. This is how the virgin daughters of the king were clothed in earlier times. So we know that the way he was dressed, and even dressed by his father, was not maybe the usual way for a man in those days. We also learn in these few verses that his brothers hated him. Darley was his father's favorite, but he wasn't like them. He looked and he carried himself differently. Torah is often more subversive than we think. We need to remember that in a time when it's often misused to justify attacks and slurs against various groups of people. And this is something that I run into a lot online. A lot of my friends who are gay, my friends who are trans, there's a lot of stuff that goes on about, well, that's what the Bible teaches us. And so I'm always on there going, no, sorry, that's not exactly what it does. So I've been having a lot of fun teaching Torah to an awful lot of drag queens, basically, and other of my friends, so they can protect themselves against the stuff that's shoved out there mistakenly by people who don't really know what the Hebrew actually says and what it actually means. And because it's subversive like this, it can be a powerful tool to remind us of our obligation to always seek justice and bring light into the world. And that gets me to my second theme, as we're at the time when we really are longing for the return of physical light. I don't do well this time of year. I just like to go and hide in my room, frankly. I need the light to function. The days are short, they're not even very bright during the day. Can't remember how long it's been since I've seen the sun. And it's really no wonder that virtually every group in society has some type of festival featuring light this time of year. The ancient festival of Yule in this country and in some Germanic countries occurred at the winter solstice, marking the shortest day of the year. And of course, Yule celebrates symbolic return of light and the beginning of longer days. A lot of its practices have been incorporated into Christmas. And there's a standard rule, well, if you can't beat them, grab their rules and their rights and put them in yours. So they were just subsumed as Christians took over in this country and put into Christmas, so decorated with candles, feasting, gift giving, storytelling, sometimes even burning a Yule log. Sometimes I've noticed that people even do that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, it's fine. It happens. But there's something interesting because we're off to Brighton this afternoon, and there's a modern celebration in Brighton called the Burning of the Clocks, held on December 21st. And this celebrates the passing of time, the start of the new year, the start of the new sun, the turning of the year. It's a symbolic gesture that bids farewell to the past and welcomes the new year with hope. And it features a parade of people, and we saw this last year, carrying handmade paper lanterns through the city streets. So if any of you know what Brighton looks like, okay, imagine them going down the main street, coming over into Hove, going down onto the walkway just by the beachfront. Hundreds, and I do mean hundreds of them, carrying paper lanterns, ending at the beach. When they all get there, the lanterns, because they're made of paper or cardboard or something like that that is combustible, they're all tossed into a bonfire. They're often representations of clocks or of the old year. It's amazing to see. And then there's a fire show and a firework display. And of course, we have Hanukkah with the lighting of candles. And although these candles are pretty small in comparison to a lot of these lights from other festivals, we do something interesting, and that is that we add one each night. Because by doing that, we teach that we should always add light, not diminish it. This is Hillel's practice. And that's a message to us as well. That with our lives, we should always try to add to the light in the world and not take away from it. Now you've heard my sermon. And we continue now with community prayers. And I must say that the community prayers in this Siddur are kind of different. So we're going to kind of extemporize, basically, let's say. So for our congregation, the women here works all right, source of all being. May the members of this community learn their passions from love of Torah, devotion and prayer, support of need. May we guide with integrity, may we all guide with integrity. May our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate the time and teachings of all of those who do teach and who work to make this congregation run well. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding. May our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Some of the rest of these prayers are very, very American. So we're going to just move along a bit to say, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all of our brothers and sisters at the house of Israel, who enter synagogues to study, pray, and give aid to those in need. May the Holy One, to whom all praise is due, hear their prayers and help them to fulfill their aspirations for good. Eternal God, we ask your blessing for our sovereign King Charles, for all those who govern our country, and all who influence the quality of its national life. May they be conscious of their responsibility, and we of ours, so that together we may fashion in this country a society with freedom, justice, and compassion at its heart. one in which diversity is respected and cherished, and in which the worth of all people is recognized. And we ask your blessing on the state of Israel and its leaders, that they may be inspired by the words of Torah and the prophets, to govern with justice and compassion, and to work to create a society in which the image of God and all who live there is recognized and respected. We pray for peace and for the end of what are now multiple wars, and for the end of the seemingly endlessly increasing deaths of your image. Because we know that all people are in God's image. So we say, Amen.
Mhm.
And we move now to page 500 and so 500 is 587 for the Elena. Five, eight, seven. On the top of page 587, there's several versions of Elena in this book, and we selected to do the one on the top of 587. So please rise for the Elena.
Aleinu l'shabbat l'adon hakol, v'teit gedolot bereshit, shehu sam chelchenu yached et shemo, v'gor aleinu l'hamlik malchuto, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And we turn the page 588 to the top of the page.
You didn't want it? Okay. Shehuna Teshamayim v'yosed haaretz u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim imal u'shkinatu zo b'gavhei maromim hu Eloheinu einod emet malkeinu efesulato kakatu b'torato v'yadat hayom Yidata hayam v'shavota levavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim imal v'al haaretz michat enod.
And on the top of page 589, continue together. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to your love, and corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness. And superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. For may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of the prophets fulfilled. And deny the word ever. Come now to think of those who are no longer with us, whose lives are part of our lives, and continue to be so even after their physical being has left us. So we turn now to the Kaddish on page 598. And this Shabbat, we think especially of Paul Levine, husband of Sandra, father of Karen and the Zeta of Leonard, of Seymour and Mavis Robinson, parents of Susan Burton, of Lewis Robinson, grandfather of Susan Burton, and of Betsy Cohen, mother of Joe Humphreys. Are there any other names that anyone would like?
Roman Arthur Hughes.
Jacob Zinkin. Thank you. And my uncle, Manny Davidson, who died this week.
Anything online?
No.
Okay. Those who have named, for those whose names we hold in our hearts, we say together. Yet Gadal,
Yet Kadash, Shemay Rabbi,
Yalma Devrach Elote, V'yamlik Malkute, V'chaychon V'yomechon, V'chayet Kol Beit Yisrael,
Bagalav Vishman Kari, Amen. V'hei Shemay Rabbi, V'olam La'mei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yita'av, Yitramam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalam, Shemay Kadashah, B'rechu, Ba'elam Kol Bechata B'shirta, Tushbekata V'nekmata, Damiran V'alma V'nru, Amen. Yehei Shlema Rabba Min Shemai, V'chayim Aleinu, V'kol Israel, V'nru, Amen. V'sei Shalom V'nru,
Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'kol Israel, V'nru.
Amen.
And we are going to conclude with the Ladino version of Ein Eloheinu, which you will find in the book
631.
on 631.
Yes.
We love this, and we haven't done it for a while, but it's fun to try a little Ladino.
So you see on 631, each verse of Ein Eloheinu appears in transliterated Hebrew and then in transliterated Ladino, which, like Yiddish, was a language that grew up centuries ago in the Jewish diaspora, a sort of mix of the local language, here Spanish, and borrowed words from Hebrew. And Ladino is pretty much dying out. It's not gone completely yet, but it used to be a very common Jewish language, other than amongst Ashkenazis.
And you'll probably read it again in Hanukkah, because it's one of the Hanukkah songs we often sing is in Ladino.
Ein Eloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kamalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu. Non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Como nuestro Señor, que como nuestro Rey, que como nuestro Salvador. No de la Eloheinu, no de la Adoneinu, no de la Malkeinu, no de la Moshienu. Oremos a nuestro Dios, oremos a nuestro Señor. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonai, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendicho nuestro Dios, bendicho nuestro Señor, bendicho nuestro Rey, bendicho nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonai, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu
This just brought a memory to my mind, a memory of being in Cuba in 2012 with a group. Yes, how you do? How you go from here to and meet up with a group of Jews from Washington, and you all go to Cuba. And of course, we met with a whole lot of Jewish communities there during Hanukkah. In Cuba, oh yeah. There, we visited at least 1, 2, 3, 4 synagogue buildings that were in use, and another group that met on a patio of a hotel. The weather in Cuba is usually pretty good, so they met outside. But we were just having a little bit of dinner in the big main historic hotel in Havana, and we had our Hanukkot, and we started singing the Uno Candelica, and everybody around us heard it and said, "Well, what is that? It sounds like Spanish, but it isn't quite." And so we explained that, well, it's a song for lighting Hanukkah candles. Next thing we know, all these people, all these just Cubans said, "Oh, well, that's all right. We like festivals, whatever. We don't care. Let's go for it." So they were all singing Una Candelica, so that was good. And Yet's husband, Hankin, had his guitar, and so after we finished the Candelica, then he had a little go in Kelohenu, and again, we had approximately 50 people just dropped in to have dinner there, singing in Kelohenu, the Latino version. So, sometimes life gives you very unexpected joys and blessings. So
I'm wondering whether Craig wants anything announced.
That's what I was going to ask.
Ooh.
There's a lot coming up.
I have to remind myself what is going on. There is quite a bit going on.
Yeah. It's Hanukkah coming up. I think I can remember. It's Friday night. There's a special service. We hope that we're welcoming back all of these young people who might have been away at college or might previously have been. But it's open to everybody. So there's a service Friday night, and there's lots going on Saturday morning and Saturday. I was amazed when I got a minute to look at the bulletin.
Okay, I'll go and tell you all about it.
Great. Please do.
I'll come and replace bits. Okay, so you've done Friday. Next Saturday, Rabbi Lev is back, and he will be hosting a session on the spirituality of dream interpretation.
That fits with next week's Torah portion, which is all about dreams.
Oh, yes. Jewish wisdom to understand our dreams. It's going to be great fun. So that's the morning. And then the afternoon, in fact, there is a time change. It's going to be at 5 o'clock, not 3 o'clock. There'll be an announcement coming out.
So the break between, so we go home after the service and then we come back.
Yeah, so yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. So you'll have the afternoon to have your Shabbat Shlof, and then
Service is normal.
yes. So this is part of the service in the morning is the dream stuff. Go home, have your Shabbat Shlof, come back for Havdalah at 5 o'clock. And and Hanukkah party. So there's a Hanukkah competition. If you've not made a latkes, make competition. If you haven't made latkes, then there's a special category for you. Try it for the first time. Someone will no doubt judge it, and and the choir will be helping to create the Hanukkah mood with some songs, I think. And indeed, yes, we have a whole host of instrumentalists, from clarinet, oboe, accordion, and of course Vince on the guitar.
And I'm assuming we're all supposed to bring our own Hanukkah so that we can have
We'll bring our...
Oh yes, yes, a mass
Mass
lighting of the Hanukkot. Absolutely, you're quite right. It's a lovely sight, and yeah, especially in the, as Janet was explaining, as we know, experiencing the shorter days, which will get longer from today, so that's positive.
Tomorrow it's just a little bit longer than today.
Yeah, so that will bring light into our homes, to the synagogue, and then our homes. Now, speaking of homes, there is a Hanukkah at home. So this is it's Hillary. It's Hillary. It's you. You're inviting us all, the whole congregation, to join you on Sunday at, it says 8 o'clock. No, it doesn't. Where does it say?
It's not this Sunday, it's the
28th.
yeah.
It says 3 o'clock. It says 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, apparently.
It's probably not a Sunday either. It's probably a Friday night.
No, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
Okay.
It's Sunday.
Sorry,
So it's about the right time actually, because you can join, and then the sun sets, and then four candles, fourth night. Yes. 4 candles. Yes. Thank you. Okay. There's if you can either, if you know where Hillary lives, then that's obviously, you just turn up. There is a form for you to register, and then you will get Hillary's address. Okay.
So this Saturday, this coming Saturday, and this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
Lots of Hanukkah fun.
Next weekend. And the other 2 key dates for the rest of this year are deadlines. First, the High Holy Day appeal, if you're a bit slow in reacting to that closes at the end of the year, as does a tour which one of our members is involved with, Alexander, who's on council. He's got a lot of contacts in Germany, and they've arranged a tour of Europe, Jewish history tour, that's taking place at the end of March. So there's several members, including I'm going along, Hillary's going along, Sarah Alston, Mary's coming. So there's a few people, plus not just KLS, there are other people as well coming along. Please, yes, take a look in the bulletin, see the brochure. Goes all around various sites in Europe, culture, history, lots to discover there. So that will be great.
Giving him contact details for all the rabbis and quite a few of these different places.
Right. Yes. Meet lots of people. There we go.
You can really see the synagogues, get into them. They're not just museums. They're in use.
Yes. The bulletin also contains there's a whole lot of things going on next year. We've added a few bits and pieces there. So take a look, put them in your diaries, and come along and enjoy.
Thank you.
So let's go in for Kiddush. I think the blessing that I always use is, may the source of strength bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say.
Amen.
Thank you, Janet, I should say, and Dennis for leading us today.
Where do you want to talk to students?
If you pile them up.
I'll just there. Then I can go back to the library. Aging process should be bad. Thanks. No, I appreciate it. There's a process of actually moving down.
Should I have to take it back to the library?
Pencils for the Kiddush, so.
I like the transfiguration.
Actually, maybe you can help them.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Well, there's a few times where they fell. They can take them.
Yeah.
So we don't have to show them.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.